all live in a world where if you break your arm, everyone runs over to help you out. But if you're depressed, everyone runs the other way. We are so accepting of any body part breaking down except our brain. And that is ignorance. That ignorance has created a world that does not understand depression, that does not understand mental health. Good morning to one and all present here. Today I, Archita Kaur, along with my co-host Arpita Sehel, welcome you all to the Mental Health Day program. World Mental Health Day is an international day for global mental health education, awareness, and advocacy against social stigma. This day is observed on 10th October every year. This day provides with an opportunity for all stakeholders working on mental health issues to talk about their work and what more needs to be done to make mental health care a reality for people worldwide.
नमस्ते। विश्व मानसिक स्वास्थ्य क्या ये पागलों के लिए है? नहीं। आइए जानते हैं विश्व मानसिक स्वास्थ्य दिवस क्यों, कैसे, कहाँ और किस लिए मनाया जाता है। मैं अर्पिता सहल अपनी सहपाठी खुशी बोरा से अनुरोध करूंगी कि वो हमारे सारे संदेश दूर करें। धन्यवाद।
Good morning, respected Principal Ma'am, teachers, dear friends, and everyone present on the occasion of World Mental Health Day. Today, I, Kushi Bora of Class 11, would like to speak about the importance of World Mental Health Day. World Mental Health Day is observed on 10th October every year with the overall objective of raising awareness on mental health issues around the world and mobilizing efforts in support of mental health. It was first celebrated on October 10, 1992 at the initiative of the World Federation of Mental Health, a global mental organization with members and contacts in more than 150 countries by Deputy Secretary Richard Hunter. In 1994, World Mental Health Day was celebrated with a theme for the first time at the suggestion of Secretary General Eugene Brody. Up until 1994, the day had no specific theme other than the general promoting of mental health advocacy and educating the public. World Mental Health Day is also supported by WHO through raising awareness on mental health issues using its strong relationship with the Ministries of Health and civil organizations across the globe. WHO also supports with developing technical and communication material. 10 million adults experience serious mental illness. 2.4 million live with schizophrenia. 6.1 million of Americans have bipolar disorders. 16 million of them suffer from severe depression. 42 million live with an anxiety disorder. 90% of those who commit suicide have an underlying mental illness. However, despite the sheer number of people who deal with mental illnesses, treatment and awareness numbers remain shockingly low. Only 41% of adults with mental health conditions receive help, and less than 50% of children receive mental health services. Considering that 300 million people suffer from depression globally and 620 million people live with anxiety disorders, promoting good mental health in people's professional as well as personal ones is important goal. Not only from an interpersonal perspective but also from a monetary one. World Health Organization found that such disorders cost the global economy $1 trillion in lost productivity every year. According to the US reports, 5 adults experience mental health illness in a given year. Only 9% of those suffering from anxiety receive treatment. 4% of young adults with self-reported mental health need to forego healthcare entirely. Though the official Mental Health Day would end today, promoting good mental health is not a goal that can be truly limited to just one day. In order for the individual suffering from mental health issues to truly receive the support they need, this level of awareness needs to continue throughout the year. But it is days like these that makes the issue more visible, shining a light on just how many people in our lives, figures we look up to, people in our offices, our childhood friends, family members, and near and dear ones, who may also might be dealing with depression, anxiety, and other mental illnesses. This World Mental Health Day, let's stop treating the survivors of abuse as mentally ill or disorders. Let's stop stigmatizing, marginalizing, blaming, and labeling people for simply trying to cope up and survive using the available resources. Let's drop the language of disorder and respond with compassion, an open heart, and listening ears. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.
The word normal is used to describe individual behavior that conforms to the most common behavior in society. But how do we determine what is normal and what is not? So may I please welcome Namrata, who is going to recite a poem on the topic, what is normal and what is not.
Hello everyone. Today, on the occasion of World Mental Health Day, I, Namrata of 12 Humanities, would like to speak about the notions of being abnormal and normal in our society. So I would like to ask you, are you abnormal or normal? No, it isn't about being good or bad, right or wrong. It just means whether your actions and behaviors are acceptable or unacceptable by the society. Being normal doesn't mean you are right, and being abnormal doesn't mean you are wrong. Too confusing, right? To be precise, there's nothing normal and abnormal in our society. It is we, the people, who make up these notions of moral standards. Now, I would like to recite a small poem about the differences we as people have. I am a person who likes to be quiet. I avoid social gatherings and I like spending time alone. Will they call me abnormal? I like to paint and speak through art. I don't like studying much. Does that mean I'm abnormal? I am a woman, but I don't follow gender roles set by the society. I'm independent, I'm outspoken, and I like to pursue a career. Will I be considered abnormal? I am a girl with some body hair. They call me names like wolf and gorilla. I don't have curves and the perfect figure like those of the models. Does it mean I'm not normal? I'm a man who don't abide by the gender roles. I don't control and dominate my wife. I like to take childcare responsibilities. Will they call me abnormal? I'm a boy. I like the color pink. I'm shy and I cry sometimes when I get emotional. Does that make me abnormal? So, being abnormal doesn't always mean you are having a mental disorder. In fact, psychology says there is no such thing as normal since we are all different in our own ways and we are all best defined by our individuality. Human diversity is too vivid, and we must learn how to embrace and accept our differences more than searching for the fictional ideal of normal. Someone rightly said, if you feel like you have never really fit in what's normal, then don't worry, you aren't supposed to. So be who you are, accept your individuality, celebrate your uniqueness, celebrate the differences we all humans have. Thank you.
Peer pressure is the direct influence on people by peers who get encouraged to follow their peers by changing their attitudes, values, or behaviors to conform to those of influencing group or individual. The term is mostly used in the context for children and adolescents. Now, I would like to welcome the students of Class 11 Humanities who are going to present a role play on the topic peer pressure.
Hi, I'm Sanika. Good morning and warm greetings to you all. It is a great pleasure to be here today to be a part of this program, which provides a valuable opportunity to highlight and promote the mental health and the well-being and the various barriers that at times prevent people from different backgrounds and contexts from seeking and accessing help with mental health issues. There is no health without mental health. What causes mental health is not fully understood. Several factors matters including genetics, social context, family backgrounds and stress. Almost everywhere in the world, mental illnesses are seen as a taboo. Affected people are said to be victims of witchcraft or having possessed by evil spirit, or sometimes the society blames the patient themselves for their condition. Medical disorders are accompanied by peculiar or aggressive behavior. Those who display such behavior are likely to encounter hatred, contempt, or fear. In many places, common responses to aggressive, uncontrolled behavior or even severe depression is electroshocks, beatings, and locking ups. When ghosts and demons, witchcraft, and divine punishments serve to explain psychological illnesses, people are likely to resort to metaphysical cures as well. For ages, people have depended on traditional healers and spiritual leaders who performs rites, ceremonies, and exorcism. Science-based psychiatric methods and psychotherapy are much less practiced in the world. Now let's come to a more everyday problem faced by us as teenagers. That is peer pressure. What do you mean by peer? Peer is someone who is close to us in age, be it a friend, neighbor, or a cousin, anyone we hang out with. Next comes the question, what is peer pressure? When peers do certain stuff, we might feel the pressure to do the same. This is called the pressure. You may associate peer pressure with negative outcomes, such as a child trying alcohol, smoking, or drugs. However, peer pressure can also allow groups to have positive influences on a child. There's no way of knowing exactly how a child will be affected. Peer pressure can influence any area of a child's life, ranging from the music taste of the child to the school subjects. Positive effects of peer pressure include a sense of belonging and support, increased self confidence, introduction to positive hobbies and interests, reinforcements of positive habits and attitudes. Negative effects of peer pressure include pressure to use alcohol, cigarettes, or drugs, pressure to engage in risk taking behaviors, distraction from school, drastic changes in behavior and attitude. It's important to remember that peer influence and pressure is a normal part of adolescence. As a child starts moving away from the parent child relationship, on independence and identity, their peers will become more important to them. However, if you are concerned about the effects of peer pressure on a child and think that it's negatively impacting their life, there are certain things that you can try to support them. For those things, keep on watching the video.
Have you ever been guilty of peer pressuring someone else?
I have never peer pressured anybody.
Never?
No, never.
Never pressuring someone to do something that you want to do?
No.
Why do you think people peer pressure someone else?
I think someone peer pressure someone else if they are under pressure and can't say no to it. So they peer pressure someone else to do it. So they are doing a bad thing.
I don't think they do without thinking of the harmful consequences the other will have. They do it showing their superiority. So, just like a circular bed, they are just like bringing someone down with you, right?
Yeah.
So, why do you think it's so hard for people to stand against peer pressure?
Because it depends on also how much pressure. You're just so worried. They just go so hard on you. Just can't stand up for yourself. You are worried if they might say something rude to you.
So, as you all know that some people find it difficult to stand against peer pressure. So, what kind of advice would you give to them?
I like to say, guys, I don't want to do this. Can you think what else can I do, please?
If someone tells you to do something bad, don't do it. If you know it's bad, then just say no. If you can't say no, then just run away before you yell yes.
Okay, if I tell you right now that I just want to go,
and jump off a bridge. We are all gonna do it. You are coming, right?
I won't do it.
Okay. You will jump off a bridge right now.
With no parachute. No way.
You know something? I agree with you. I don't like to break either. Have you ever faced any kind of pressure from your peer?
Yeah, I just recall. Well, when I was in school, it happened like we were having our annual sports day, practice for which students were needed for various sports activities. All the students of our class took part, but I didn't. I wasn't very active in sports as I had a deformed leg. But all my classmates looked down at me for that. They passed various comments that were very disheartening. Then eventually forced me to take part in that competition after all. I still regret that decision.
Hey, won't you take part in the annual sports next?
No, because I have pain in my right leg.
Oh, is it now? You want look like cool kids like him. Look, he looks so cool while running. I wish you could be like him. Unlucky you.
It's okay. I'll try to take part in some other program.
Oh, really? Why don't you participate? I know you are thinking about your leg. You don't want to participate? I know you don't want to participate and just making excuse for it.
No, it's not like that. I do want to participate, but I can't.
No, no, you are lying. I know. You are so rigid, so uncool of you.
It's the truth. Okay, I'll participate and show you all that I'm better than you all.
Sadly, that day, my right leg got fractured and I regret till now. Now it cannot be cured anymore. I am now living my life just like this.
Well, when I was in school, I felt peer pressure from one of my friends. The story was like I was mocked for having a school bag, which was very old fashioned. I was very sad that day. I returned home late that evening.
Hey, today also you brought the same old dusty bag? Who were you? Can't afford a bag too?
No, it isn't like that. I like this bag as it is. My father bought me this bag 2 years ago.
Still, it's too old fashioned. The color looks dull too. Why don't you buy a new one?
I don't have money.
Take it from your father's wallet and I'll give you my pocket money so that you can put it back there without him knowing.
I don't know.
It's okay, do it. I said I'll give you. It's a promise.
Will you for real?
Yes, of course. After all, you are my friend.
That day I stole my father's money to buy a new one. Little did I know my friend was fooling me. I never got the money and my father scolded me so bad. For a whole week I didn't went out of my room. Cried all day.
Point of time, we all experience peer pressure and it is normal to happen. Here are some ways we can try to resist it. The first step is to recognize when you are being pressured. There's a few ways you can tell. Your heart might be beating, your mouth is dry, your hands are shaking. You just feel like something isn't right. First, take a deep breath and try to identify what's going on. Second, think about the result of the bad behavior. If you think it through, you will probably realize it's not worth it. Step 3. Respond confidently to the people pressuring you. Say no or just walk away. Be firm and sure of yourself. A lot of times that will earn the respect of your friends. It's pretty cool to have your own values and stick to them.
आगे बढ़ते हुए मैं अरसे पहल कक्षा 12वीं के छात्र रिपन से अनुरोध करूंगी कि वह हमें यह बताएं कि विश्व स्वास्थ्य संगठन यानी वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का मानसिक स्वास्थ्य के ऊपर क्या मत है। धन्यवाद।
very charming good morning to one and all present over here. We all know that today is the most important day that we called as World Mental Health Day. World Mental Health Day is organized and celebrated diligently all around the globe. This activity not ended on the same day, but in many countries, a week and even a full month is dedicated to this cause. This day is celebrated to spread awareness about mental health issues all around the world. World Mental Health Day also emphasizes on what more needs to be done to make sure that talking mental health does not remain a taboo in a society. World Mental Health Day was observed for the first time on 10 October 1992. It was started as an annual activity of the World Federation for the Mental Health by the then Deputy Secretary General Hunter. Mental health awareness and education is the first step to saving someone's life. Each year, we celebrate this day with a theme. This year, our theme is kindness, as we all know that physical health is always visible and somehow the only way of analyzing how strong the person is. Sadly, it's not a fact. We should accept it that mental health is more important for a person to be healthy, even physically, because mental health of a person is a foundation for physical health, and a person can never be healthy physically if he faces mental illness. The most common mental illness is a form of depression. More or less, every other person is a victim of it. That's why mental health awareness is so much essential for us to be in a healthy state. This day also provides an opportunity for all stakeholders working on mental health issues to talk about their work. This year, World Mental Health Day comes at a time when our daily lives have changed. As a result of the COVID 19 pandemic, we also know that past months have brought many challenges for healthcare workers going to work fearful of bringing COVID 19 home. The economic consequences of the pandemic are also known that past experiences of emergencies, the need for mental health and psychosocial support will increase.
इस लॉकडाउन की वजह से न जाने हमें कितना अकेलापन, कष्ट और डर का सामना करना पड़ रहा है। लेकिन अगर हम एकजुट होकर रहे और जागरूक बने रहे, तो हम इस कठोर परिस्थिति से आसानी से निकल सकते हैं। तो इसी के साथ आगे बढ़ते हुए मैं कक्षा 12वीं के छात्र छात्राओं से निवेदन करती हूँ कि वे अपने पावरपॉइंट प्रदर्शन से हमें जागरूक करें। धन्यवाद।
Hello everyone. We hope that you all are doing good, staying safe and healthy. This time of pandemic is very distressing for all of us. Stress, anxiety, depression, loneliness, mood swings aren't the things that most of us has been facing during this COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, this pandemic is affecting our mental health in many ways. Now, talking about mental health, let us first understand the meaning of mental health. Now, what is mental health? Mental health is the level of psychological well being or an absence of mental illness. It is the state of someone who is functioning at a satisfactory level of emotional and behavioral adjustments. It has an impact on how we think, feel, and act. Mental health can affect daily living relationships and physical health. Now, let us look how COVID 19 has an impact on our mental health. Fear, worry, and stress are normal and understandable that people are experiencing fear in the context of COVID-19 pandemic. For example, quarantine is affecting on many people's usual activities, routines, or livelihoods, due to which alcohol and drug use and suicidal behavior are also expected to rise. It is also very important to know how this pandemic is affecting different groups in specific ways. Let us have a look at it. Women. In general, studies report Many women suffering from anxiety and depression due to brunt of increased household responsibilities and domestic violence during the lockdown. Children. It has been found that more than 50% of children had experienced agitation and anxiety during the lockdown. Many of have faced violence in their homes or have been victims of cyberbullying. Doctors and frontline workers. A survey with 152 doctors found that more than a third of them are experiencing depression and anxiety due to this pandemic. Frontline workers are reportedly burdened by overwork and anxious about contracting the virus. People with pre existing mental health. The anxieties described earlier have been overwhelming for people with pre existing mental health conditions. Problem may also have worsened for individuals because of the disruption of mental health services and the difficulty of travel, which led to people reducing doses of prescribed medication. Young peoples. One survey reported that 65% of nearly 6,000 youth aged around 18 to 32 years felt that their mental health had been strongly impacted. Young people lost their jobs in April 2020 alone, and 320 million students have been affected by the closing of institutions and the postponement of exams. Migrant workers and daily wage laborers. It is reported that panic reactions have been observed in the million who lost their livelihood and made desperate attempts to return to their rural homes. A study of 1,200 auto drivers found that 75% were anxious about their work and finances. People with substance use disorders. The sudden closure of all liquor shops in the country and the cutting of drug supplies has resulted in withdrawal symptoms in many people with alcohol and substance use dependence. Many alcohol addicts, distressed by the craving, have also consumed poisonous substances such as hand sanitizers as substitutes and died or died by suicide. Section minority groups. A study of 282 people reported higher anxiety among sexual minority groups and called for the attention of policymakers to take sensitive and inclusive health decisions for marginalized communities.
Depression, stress, and anxiety. Aren't these the most common things that we are going through during this pandemic? Let's see why. COVID 19 has caused significant distress around the globe. Apart from the evident physical symptoms in infected cases, it has caused serious damage to public mental health. India, like other countries, implemented a nationwide lockdown to contain and curb the transmission of the virus. But with the implementation of the lockdown, there has been a rise in cases of anxiety, stress, depression, and paranoia during these testing times. It has become very necessary to seek counsel and support. A study was conducted among 11 states of India on the psychological impact of COVID 19 lockdown on mental well being, and the outturn shook everyone to the core. Among 11 states of India, 22% of respondents had shown signs of depression, while anxiety was seen among 15% of respondents and stress in 10% of them. These findings were published in the Journal of Psychiatry and Psychiatric Disorders on July 29th. The study said lack of experience in handling a crisis situation, excessive uses of social media, as well as inherent restlessness induced by being housebound can possibly contribute to the significant high rate of depression in the age group of 16 to 20 years. Not just depression, stress, and anxiety, there has been a spike in suicide rate as well. Coping with this psychological stress has been quite hard, and many in India have chosen suicide as a way out of their grim reality.
If we take a look at the graph on the right side of the slide, it is clearly shown here that financial distress is the prime reason for suicide and accounts for 37% of the total suicide cases, followed by loneliness or lack of freedom of movement, which is 19%, and fear of infection, which is 18%. Withdrawal due to non availability of alcohol during the initial period of lockdown accounts for 11% of the total suicide cases. This graph here shows the phase wise reported suicides by cause during the lockdown period in India. In the first stages, suicide cases were high because of the financial distress or shortage of food and fear of infection or death. The later stages of lockdown permitted not only millions of stranded people to go back home, but also it let people move around their neighborhoods more freely. Reported suicide cases due to withdrawal after this first lockdown phase dramatically declined after liquor shops were reopened. The mental health crisis created by mass scale disemployment and loss of income, financial distress, isolation, loss of liberty, fear of infection and death, and concern regarding social isolation, etc., has further strengthened the grip of anxiety, depression, stress on people's well being in India. Now comes pandemic productivity guilt trap. We all know that it's been a long time that we have been running and hurrying all the time. The pandemic has brought our lives to a halt. We are stuck at home or at isolation camps. People are fighting, surviving, and dying. But there is a hustle to be productive amidst this dreadful situation. Social media is filled with hashtag challenges and urging everyone to be productive by posting their art, songs, dance, cooking videos, and many more. But is everyone privileged enough to do that? Is everyone mentally well to cope with this productivity pressure? So, what this productivity guilt trap means? It is that overwhelming, anxious feeling of always wanting to accomplish more. It stops you from ever feeling like you have done enough. We need to understand that we may be in this together, but everyone is fighting their own battles in this pandemic. The crisis is global, but the pain caused by it is unique and individual. For instance, if you lost your job, you may be shocked and scared of your financial crisis, but someone else may be considering it as a gift and an opportunity to finally do what they really love. You may be enjoying working from home, saving your time, but for someone else, it can be a struggle to adapt to this new change. We need to realize that we all have different coping strategies. Under stress, some become highly logical and some become highly emotional. Neither is right or wrong, but our society is conditioned to glorify logic and rationality over emotions. We live in a culture that glorifies achievement more. On the contrary, many of us may not have the mental energy to get all the things done because we are still dealing with this new reality. So, what do you think is the best thing to do right now? Follow no guilt strategy. First, normalize your experience. Open up yourself to wide range of emotions. Give yourself permission to take a break. Uplift your spirit by recognizing your achievements. Imperfection is understandable. Look at your own progress. Treat yourself as if you are your own best friend. So, with this, we can realize that this time requires us to stay healthy, calm, and alive instead of just trying to pull ourselves into a puzzle of constructed productivity that deteriorates our mental health. Instead of letting others down or pushing them into guilt traps, we must actively be present to motivate those who are suffering from mental, physical, or emotional illness and try to be a source of support for them. Let us be kind and empathic towards one another. Tips of self care during the pandemic. Good self care is the key to improved mood and reduced anxiety. World Health Organization defines self-care as the behavior you do to take care of your own health and can include hygiene, nutrition, leisure activities, sports, exercise, seeking professional healthcare services when needed, and much more. The pandemic was very uncertain. It is thus normal for us to feel stressed or overwhelmed in this whole situation. We might suffer from anxiety, anger, fear, or sadness, which would have adverse effects on our health. Therefore, it is important for us to take care of ourselves, remaining calm so that we are also equipped to help our family through this time. Here are few tips for self-care during the pandemic. Prioritize your sleep. Getting enough good quality sleep keeps stress in check as the brain needs sleep to function well, and without it we will be less patient and less focused and more often to be very moody. Do exercise and meditation. Exercise releases endorphins that are the hormones that make us feel good, aids sleep, and sharpens focus, while meditation helps reducing stress, ease the symptoms of depression and anxiety, and regulate negative thinking. Follow a balanced diet. Avoid having junk food as they affect our body adversely. Do not binge eat. Stop eating when you feel you are full. Follow up a balanced and healthy diet. Get into positive self talk. Appreciate the small tasks and daily successes with positive self talk, saying that you did a great job. It helps begin to turn the thoughts and feeling in a happier direction. Listen to music. Music listening has been found to lay a beneficial impact on reducing stress, as it can make us feel more optimistic and positive about life. Social media carefully. Social media can have unintended consequences if and when using it becomes excessive or time consuming. Be selective about whom to follow rather than mindless scrolling. Call your friend and family. If feeling isolated, call a friend or a family member once in a while, as social interactions are connected with mental and physical well being. Try virtual therapy and stress managing tools. Even though online therapy tools and virtual therapy apps are relatively new, they do deliver measurable benefits to those who use them for stress management. Try aromatherapy. Certain scents have a calming effect. Aromatherapy offers relief on depressive symptoms. Remember, doing self care is not selfish. Self care is self love and should not be compromised. Be resilient. Learn to cope with the ups and the downs of the life with strength and conviction.
With this, we have come to the end of the presentation. At last, we would like to conclude by saying that mental health is a term that encompasses a range of experiences and situations that an individual can feel. What mental health needs is more sunlight, more candor, and more unashamed conversations. Thank you for your time and have a good day ahead.
Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. May I now invite Bidisha, who is going to express the inexpressible in the form of music.
Lately I've been thinking I want you to be happier when the morning comes. Baby, see what we've become. Light of day beautifully in the wind of the fire that we've begun. Every argument, every word we can take back. Cause with all that has happened, I think that we both know the way that the story ends. then only for a minute. I want to change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me. I want to raise the spirits, I want to see you smile, but not to me. Lately I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. When the evening falls and I'm left there with my thoughts, and the image of you being with someone else, well, it's eating me up inside. When we run our course, we pretended we're okay. Now we jump together, at least we can swim far away from the wreck we made. Then only for a minute, I want to change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me. Raise the spirits, I want to see you smile. Let me so have to me. Lately I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. Happier. So I'll go, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go. So I'll go, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go. Lately I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier.
Our school organized poster making competition for students of class 6 to 8 and videography competition for students of class 9th and class 11th. The winners of poster making competition are Avleen Sodhi, Asta Hazarika, Kartavya Pandey, and Pragya Tamanna, Avilasha, Siddharth, and Anna Ramrotha from class 7. Kaholi, Rohit Datta, Priangana, and Avinash Kutum from class 8. The results of videography competition. First position is bagged by Muthali Rover, bagged by Rohan Datta, and the third position is bagged by Himanshu Rover. My heartiest congratulations to all the winners.
I feel 2020 calmed our busy lives so that we could slowly move forward in our life, enjoying each step, each aspect of life. Life is an exciting journey. Thank you.